Welcome to the Eternal format, the unofficial format where every set is legal, from the original base set to the most recent set, with a ban list to keep things balanced. Today's game is Alakazam Star TCE Checkmate versus Origin Forme Palkia VSTAR. To learn more about the Eternal format, check the links in the description. Up first, we are going to be looking at Alakazam Star TCE Checkmate. First of all, what is TCE Checkmate? It's essentially a win condition consisting of 3 attacks. The first one is Super Fang, this attack of Raticate, which puts damage counters on the defending Pokemon until the remaining HP is 10. The second step of that combo is Naganadel-GX's Stinger GX attack, which makes both players shuffle their prize cards into the deck, and then they set the top 3 cards of the deck face down as prize cards. So now we only have 3 prizes to take. And finally, we take them with Crobat, which has the critical bite attack, which does 30 damage to one of the opponent's Pokemon, and takes 2 extra prize cards in case of a KO. Now, all of these are attacks that cost 3 colorless on evolution Pokemon. So there is a deck which was just called the TCE Checkmate that featured this strategy with normal evolution and triple acceleration energy. But we are instead going to use Alakazam Star instead of normally evolving. Alakazam Star has the attack skill copy, which lets you discard the Pokemon from your hand, and then choose an attack of that Pokemon. If Alakazam Star has the energy necessary to use that attack, then it copies it, which is a great attack. It also costs 3 colorless, but we can reduce it with the help of Stadium card, which is Dimension Valley, which makes the attack cost of Psychic Pokemon cost 1 colorless less, and this includes both skill copy and the attack that is being copied, because it's being used by a Psychic Pokemon, which is Alakazam. And we are running essentially 5 double colorless energy, because one of them is a twin energy, which for our purposes has the same effect. The one downside really with Alakazam Star is that it's a Gold Star Pokemon, which means that we can only have one of them in our deck. We overcome this issue by playing this Mew, which has the Memories of Dawn ability, which makes it able to copy any attack of your bench, the basic Pokemon. It also has free retreat, which is useful in a couple of times, and crucially it is also Psychic type, so Dimension Valley still works. Yeah, that's the basic premise of the deck. So now let's look at the opposing deck, which is Origin Forme Palkia VSTAR. The star of the show here is the titular Pokemon, which you probably know. It's still in the standard format. Its attack does 60 plus 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon in play, so both yours and your opponent's, for 2 water energy, and its VSTAR power is an ability that lets you attach up to 3 water energy cards from the discard pile to water type Pokemon in play, which is going to be, of course, very important. This list also has other attackers. A very important one is Radiant Greninja, which has the attack Moonlight Shuriken, which, again, many of you will know from Standard. You discard 2 energy from that Pokemon and they'll do 90 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. The ability is also really great. It's a card that is included in Standard in many decks, even those that don't run water energy. The ability lets you discard an energy card from your hand in order to draw 2 cards. Radiant Pokemon, much like Gold Star Pokemon, you can only have one of them in the deck. It's basically the same rule. The only exception is that it's a different name, so you would be allowed to have a Radiant Pokemon and a Gold Star Pokemon. And Radiant counts as being a rulebox, while Gold Star does not. And we have also Shampoo EX, another card that's currently in Standard. Hailblade does 60 times the number of water energy that you choose to discard from your Pokemon, technically from the cards, times the number of cards, but it's essentially the same thing. We're only running basic energy here. And yeah, another crucial card that's going to matter in this matchup, in this game especially, is Manaphy EX. which has an ability that grants free retreat to each of your Pokemon that has water energy attached. So with that in mind, I think we can start the game. This was a testing game I played against myself, so I'm gonna talk in first person from both perspectives. So with Alakazam, I obviously decided to start Mew because it has free retreat. Alakazam was going first in this match. Whereas with Palkia, I had no choice, I had to start Shempa. So, top deck Claydol. Claydol is, of course, a staple in the Eternal format. Its Poké Power, Cosmic Power is possibly the best draw engine ever. It lets you put up to 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order you like. And if you do, you fill your hand up to 6. So I immediately benched the Baltoy, then played Buddy-Buddy Poffin to get Manaphy to protect myself from Radiant Greninja, and another Mew. It's worth noting that you cannot get Alakazam Star with Poffin because it has too much HP. And after that, I passed. So, here, what I decided to do with Palkia was to be as aggressive with my turn 1 draw as possible. So, first of all, I fin with Shempao's ability, which gets 2 water energies from the deck into my hand. Then I quick ball one of those away to get Squawkabilly X. And then I play Iono, which shuffles my hand at the bottom of my deck, and then I draw, in this case, 6 cards because I have 6 prizes remaining, and the opponent does the same. Then quick ball discards Ryan, then this card is not really important here, since I'm planning to ditch the whole hand with Squawkabilly in the end. And with this quick ball, I'm getting a Palkia V. Then I bench Fion, just to Fion, really. And I play Aqua Patch, which is an item card which lets me attach the water energy to one of my benched water Pokemon from the discard pile, similar to Dark Patch for Dark Pokemon. And then, before I squawk, I have more draw I can do, so I play this other quick ball to get Crobat V, which when played from your hand to the bench, fills your hand up to 6. Another Aqua Patch. I wanted to play it, but of course I don't have any water energy in the discard at the moment, so what I have to do instead is play Battle Compressor first, which those of you who know Expanded know this card really well. It lets you discard 3 cards from your deck, or up to 3 cards. So I discard 2 water energies and Erika's Perfume, which is an item card, which lets you look at your opponent's hand and put any basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench, which is not something we really need because Palkia is doing enough damage. We're not against a Pokemon with high HP. So now I can play the Aqua Patch, continuing to powering up Palkia. The attack of Palkia V costs 3 energies though, so we still need 1 more if you want to do damage this turn. Then I attach the Floatstone to Shempao, so now Shempao has free retreat. And then I play Azelf. Azelf is another staple of this format. It's also in the Alakazam deck. It's actually really important in the deck. The Time Walk Poké Power lets you look at your prize cards when you play it. And then you take any Pokemon you find there and show it to your opponent and put it in your hand, and then replace it with another card from your hand. And you don't, crucially, you don't need to shuffle your prizes afterwards. So for the sake of convenience, I'm gonna keep looking at the prizes when I'm testing by myself. And you can see there are 2 Pokemon in my prizes, which are a Palkia V and a Manaphy BRS I showed earlier. But I decided not to take any of them because I was about to squawk, so I didn't want to lose them right away. Squawkabilly X, of course, during your first turn, you can discard your hand and draw 6 cards. At this point, I can finally attach the final energy to Palkia in order to be able to attack with it. I retreat for free because of the Floatstone into Palkia, and I attack, knocking out the Mew, and I decide to take the Manaphy. At this point, I promote the other Mew because, I mean, it's a no-brainer, it's a free retreater. I bench another Mew, and I play Luxury Ball, another staple of Eternal. You can search your deck for any Pokemon except for level X, but most decks don't have them, and put it into your hand. The only downside is you can't play Luxury Ball if there's another one in your discard pile, but most decks play only one, so it's not really a downside. And with that, I finally managed to get Alakazam Star in play. I then play Evolution Incense to get Claydol, which, as I mentioned earlier, is the draw engine. I then attach the Twin Energy to Mew to thin my hand down for Claydol. Now, I have these two attackers in hand, which I didn't talk about earlier. One is Lunala, which is not included in the original TCE Checkmate deck, but I did include it here because I didn't have to run a whole another evolution line. It lets you double the number of damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon, which in a few testing games was really clutch, but spoiler alert, not in this one. The other one is Sandslash, which is a bit odd. It's just here because of its second attack, which does 80 damage and is not affected by weakness, resistance, or any effects on the opponent's active Pokemon. It's here just to get through certain walls. So now I use Claydol's Pokepower, and I decided to put those two attackers to the bottom of the deck because I don't need them right now. And I draw 5 cards. Then I play Trainer's Mail, which is in this deck just to boost a bit of consistency. And with that, I get the Teammates, which I then immediately play, because at this point I need, first of all, the Dimension Valley, which I get immediately. Then I need Raticate, but I already have a Level Ball in hand, so instead I decide to get Rescue Stretcher. Dimension Valley gets played, Level Ball gets Raticate, and we can attack with Super Fang. So now Palkia V has only 10 HP remaining. Trouble with that is that, of course, Palkia V can evolve into Palkia VSTAR and increase its remaining HP. So at this point, I decide to attach a Water Energy to Shenpao just to have another attacker eventually ready. I evolve, like I said, into Palkia VSTAR, and then I attack with Palkia VSTAR, just straightforward turn. And of the prizes, I decided to get Luxury Ball. I was tempted to get the Palkia, but Luxury Ball will still allow me to get Palkia V if I want. So it's just a more flexible option. Over on this side, first thing I do is play Rescue Stretcher, and you can see from the log I shuffle back into the deck to Muse and the Raticate. One thing to note here is that Rescue Stretcher tells you to shuffle 3 Pokemon, not up to 3, so I had to do all 3. I wanted to do just the Muse, but I could not. Then I played the Buddy-Buddy Poffin to get Mew and Minun into play. Now Minun is an interesting card. You can think of it as sort of a mini version of Origin GX, or I believe it's Serendipity X, the upcoming one. It has a Pokepower that lets you draw 2 cards once during your turn if during your opponent's last turn one of your Pokemon was knocked out, which of course is the case during this turn. I attach the Floatstone to Minun. I believe it was the most sensible one to attach it to. Then I use Claydol's ability. I have supporters that I don't necessarily need right now. I don't need the Faba, and at this moment I don't really need the Guzma. So I fill my hand up to 6. I attach the double colorless energy. I technically should have waited to draw the 2 cards first, but this did not matter in the end. Now you'll notice my only attacker available right here is Sandslash, which happens to knock out Palkia. So I decide to attack with it anyways. And I take 2 prize cards. Now I have 4 prize cards remaining, which I can take without using Stinger if I want to, because my opponent is playing 2 prizers, and if I knock out one of them with Critical Bite, I will take 4. So that's sort of my game plan here. At this point, Shenpao gets promoted. It has the Floatstone, so it's a no-brainer. Yeah, one thing I should note here is that during my last turn with Palkia, I just attacked. It might have been a good idea to play the Skyfield just to bump the Dimension Valley. Skyfield is a stadium card that allows both players to have up to 8 bench Pokemon, which is able to ramp up the damage of Palkia VSTAR's attack. But it's not really needed here, but it's a card that is in this list for obvious reasons. Now I realize that I should have played a Skyfield, so I did. I benched Manaphy X, and I played a quick ball discarding Master Band, which again not needed in this matchup, to get Palkia V. With Luxury Ball I get Radiant Greninja. I then use Shampoo's ability to get just one energy out of the deck because that's all I had left. And I decided to attach it to Shampoo in order to have an attacker ready. And then I play Professor Research. So I discard Computer Search, which is unfortunate, and I draw 7 cards. And at this point, I just bench another Palkia just because Skyfield is in play. And there's an Aqua Touch to attach another energy to Palkia. Battle Compressor to thin a couple of cards, Starmie V, which is an attacker that I frankly don't know how to use. It is in this list, I did not make this list myself. And yeah, I discarded it. I discarded another Battle Compressor because it's not needed anymore, and I discarded just those 2 cards. And then I attacked with Shampoo's Hailblade, discarding 1 energy, which does 60 damage, which is enough to knock out Mew. And I take the energy from the prizes. Now, at this point, it's worth examining the energy situation. I am down 2 energy, so I have 3 remaining. Can't remember if any were prized, but I definitely knew at the time. Actually, I can check right now because I have a Azelf in hand. So, yeah, I have no energies prized, but I do have both a Raticate and a Crobat prized. I decided to get the Raticate out with Azelf, and the card I decided to put back was, I believe, a Stealthy Hood. Yes, it was. Which is not needed in this matchup. It's needed against cards like Garbotoxin, Garbodor, or Power of Alchemy, Alolan Guzma Hala lets me get the pieces I need to attack, which in this case is just the Stadium, because I do have both the energy and Raticate in hand. Not that Guzma Hala could get Raticate, but anyway. Yeah, I undid the move of putting the Stadium into play because before then I realized I need to gust up the Manaphy, and I do so with Prime Catcher. And I switch my Mew with my other Mew. And the reason why I wanted Manaphy in the active was because it's 2-prizer, which would A, give 4 prizes if I knock it out with Crobat, and B, Fur Treat is useful to get out of stalling situations, which can be important, especially since the deck is so thin on the Palkia side right now. So, since the Stadium was bumped, both of us have to discard Pokemon from our benches, and I forget to do so, but eventually I will discard the Azelf. Now, of course, there goes the Azelf. I use Claydol's Pokepower and Minus, and at this point I'm ready to attack, and I Super Fang the Manaphy. Now comes really clutch play, because I need to get Manaphy out of play, otherwise it will be game over, assuming my opponent can find Crobat. But also one thing to note is that Alakazam only has 1 Dimension Valley left, other than the one in play. So if I can remove Manaphy from play, Alakazam would need to attack at least 2 times. With only 1 Stadium, which is not impossible because you can still attach twice, but hard to do. So first thing I do is draw a bit with Radiant Greninja. Then I drew Melony with Greninja, so I play it, attaching an energy from the discard to Palkia V and drawing 3 cards. Then I play the Skyfield. I bench Lapras, so now I have 7 Pokemon in play. Which means that if I manage to get Manaphy onto my bench and then play Field Blower to remove Skyfield from play, I can discard Manaphy and remove it from play, like I said earlier. So with Melony, Lapras, which I just benched, I can use its Poké Power to get a supporter out of the deck. It's for nothing. Yeah, Lapras is also very important card in the Eternal format. Lets you, when you play from your hand onto your bench, it lets you find the supporter card from your deck and put it into your hand. There have been other effects of this type printed on abilities, but only on 2-prize Pokemon. This one is a single prizer, which is very neat. So I decided to grab Irid. I don't know if I had other options, actually. Then I touched the Floatstone to Manaphy. I retreat it, and like I said, Field Blower, and I also discard the opponent's Floatstone while I'm at it. And Manaphy goes down. Or rather, gets out of the way, I should say. And yeah, at this point, you'll notice Palkia only has 2 energies attached, so the only attack he can use is Rule the Region, which just finds a stadium, and there are none. Or rather, there is one in the deck, but I guess for Iono protection I didn't take it, especially because I already had a Skyfield in hand. So at this point, I still need to attack twice with Alakazam. And first thing I do is play Guzma Hala to get what I need to attack. And I also thin a Stealthy Wood out of the deck while I'm at it. Stadium gets played, Energy gets played, Stealthy Wood gets played to thin the hand down. And then with Claydol, I draw a few cards. And I get the Raticate, which is, of course, badly needed. And I also get the Teammates. I cannot use Minun because none of my Pokemon were knocked out last turn. So now I attack with Raticate. Now I have to hope that I can Critical Bite next turn, and that my opponent does not evolve the Palkia. Now, even if the Dimension Valley gets bumped, I still have another energy, and I can attach it to whichever Mew survives, and still use the attack. So that maybe is not a great concern, but of course, Palkia bumps the stadium, evolves the active, uses Star Portal just to load up more attackers just in case, and then plays Guzma, which is a problem because then Palkia is able to take out Alakazam, so Mew now has nothing to copy. And by the way, with Guzma I switched into Shempa and then retreated it, but I didn't bother actually doing it on the simulator. So yeah, Alakazam goes down, I take the other energy as the prize, and up goes Mew. Now what I need to do, quite badly, is to get Alakazam back in play, and to Super Fang again, which now there's no further evolution that Palkia could do to increase its HP again. I bench Lapras to get a Guzma of my own, and I play it to try to stall Lapras, essentially because I decided that I could not do all of that in a single turn. All of that meaning playing the teammates to get Alakazam back and an energy and play the Level Ball to get Raticate. And by the way, even if I did that, there's the issue that then Palkia would have just knocked me out and I would have been left with just 1 energy and no stadium, so I wouldn't have been able to attack. So this play is almost mandatory to buy some time. And also, you see Palkia has 4 cards in deck, so eventually I might be able to just win by deck out. And yeah, so the play here is to stall. Then use Claydol's ability to see a few more cards. I can use mine on this turn. There's the last energy I was missing. I bench Baltoy, remember Skyfield is in play. And then I decided to attack. And the attack I'm using is just a Mew's attack, so Encounter, which lets me find the Pokemon out of the deck and put it into my hand. I decided for Naganadel-GX because I already had Level Ball to get Raticate, so this was the most flexible option. Now with Palkia, I have a Super Rod, And with the Super Rod, I can get Manaphy X back into the deck, and while I'm at it, I also add the basic water energy. And then when Irida, I put Manaphy back into play. I don't take any item cards, because I don't need them. Then I have a water energy in hand, which I attach to Lapras. Now Manaphy's ability grants Lapras free retreat, and I attack. So now Palkia is on its last prize. I'm on my last Mew, on my last energy possible, so it's pretty dire. With the Level Ball, I get another Mew, and the reason why is because after promoting Mew, I realized that my best play was probably to Versus Seeker for Guzma and stall again. It would have been, I guess, wiser to maybe promote another Pokemon and save the Level Ball, but alas. Then with Versus Seeker I got Guzma, like I said, and the stall target is again Manaphy. Then I rotate Mew back into the Mew with the energy. With Claydol I'm able to draw one card, which is Raticate, so which was the card I wanted to maybe get with the Level Ball. With Minun I draw 2 more cards, and crucially I still do not see a Rescue Stretcher, which is the card that would allow Alakazam Star to come back in play. And so at this point I decide just to pass, not even use Encounter. And this point is GG's, because there's a variety of ways in which Palkia can win. Versus Seeker for Guzma could have been a play, instead it's Versus Seeker for Research. Attach the water energy to Manaphy, retreat, and attack with Palkia to get the last prize. So now we're gonna have another look at our list. The first one, which is Alakazam, was built maybe. Actually, it is a bit of a work in progress, so not a finished list, not a first draft either. From this game, we definitely learned that a 4th dimension value is needed, definitely. And maybe we should also have more energy attachments at our disposal, which could mean increasing the energy count or including special charge. Maybe 4 energy and a special charge instead of 5 energy, which, by the way, was also the count that the original TCE Checkmate went with, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, in that case, it was triple acceleration energies and not double colorless, but the idea is the same. Maybe a cat could be the trainer's mail, losing a bit of consistency, but adding those inclusions that are needed. Another weird inclusion that could definitely be rethought is Sandslash. I added it mainly because of Light Jolteon, which is a Pokemon that has an attack that during the opponent's next turn prevents all damage dealt to it if the damage is more than 20. Yeah, I had no counterplay against it because I cannot critical bite it. And the only way I could damage it was with Baltoy's attack. And other than that, it was also hard to put any effects on it, because that deck runs a heavy count of Big Parasol, which when I played against it, I still had not included any Faba or Fiblower in this list. Now there is a Faba. Did I put a Fiblower? Not yet. Okay. So that is also a consideration, maybe. So yeah, I just found that Sandslash is the evolution Pokemon that does the most damage that is not affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon. With a caveat. Well, first of all, of course, I only consider those that attack for 3 colorless or less. Second, there is Yan Mega Break that does 100 damage, but unfortunately it has been ruled that you cannot copy the attack of a Pokemon Break with skill copy. That's mainly because it is not a complete Pokemon. The same ruling also applies for Pokemon V Union and Pokemon Legend. But interestingly, you can copy attacks of level X Pokemon. So yeah, Sandslash is our best option. There is also a Mobile that does 100, but it's a basic and I don't want to start it accidentally. And Sandslash does the job. I mean, it is 70 HP, which is the threshold needed to knock out Light Jolteon. yeah, I also have a third Raticate. Maybe could go down to 2. There's 3 mainly because if I need to win with Lunala, usually the path to win with it is to Super Fang 3 2 prizers and then use Lunala to take the 6 prizes in one turn. But I mean, it's definitely things worth considering. Looking now at Origin Forme Palkia VSTAR, this is, like I mentioned, not my own list. It's a list that I found on Justin Basil's website, which you can find linked in the description. It is not the most up-to-date list. It was made before Prime Catcher came out, for example, so this one still plays computer search. And another thing is the Manaphy X, which was really important in this match, generally does not see play anymore, mainly because 120 HP is makes it a big target against, for example, Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So yeah, it's not really played anymore, but it is still in this list. And yeah, I mean, among the archetypes that I guess are the most effective in this format and that are not, I guess, disruptive, like Garbotoxin with Ultra Necrozma. This is one that I found the most straightforward to play, and so I test against it a lot. Although maybe you can still argue that I'm not the best at playing with it. I probably missed a few dozen Guzma plays during this game, but I mean, I can still improve. So, with that being said, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions about the game or the lists, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you next time.